My name's Emily. Thank you for joining me for my first ever arc barrel class on the Reformer. So I am using the balanced body arc barrel today. It does have the removable step. Modifications can be made for other barrels that you may or may not have. It may have a step or may not have a step. Do what you can, leave what you can't. I also have 2 sticky mats at all times. I will keep one of the sticky mats underneath my barrel for safety reasons so it doesn't go flying anywhere, even though I have my barrel placed in the second hole over my shoulder block. So the first hole is over my pegs. As for the rest of my Reformer, I have 3 springs on right now. I have, for my own machine personally, I have 2 heavy, 1 medium. That would be 2 greens and 1 red. My foot bar is in the regular position. I have my gears sprung where they would normally be. To begin, I'm going to come up to sitting in the step of my barrel. I'm going to drape my legs over the foot bar. I'm not holding on with my ankles. I'm not holding on behind my knees. My legs are there. I'm sitting up tall. My hip flexors should be pretty loose. Obviously, they'll be a little tight sitting in this position, but I want to put most of the work in my abdominals, in the box of my body. So I'm wrapping my ribs from my shoulders down my back. We're going to be using hold this position while we talk. We're going to be using the arc barrel today for tactile feedback. We're going to be making sure that we articulate down equally on both sides. We use a proper articulation down and up if we're doing sideline work or back work. We're also going to be using it to make sure that our hips aren't shifting. We're not flaring in our ribs. When we flare in our ribs, we'll feel our back, our mid-lower back lift off of the arc barrel. We want to make sure that we're trying to keep it down as much as possible. It might not be possible all the time, but we want to make sure that we're not lifting it up and getting into our low back and causing pain. Inhale, exhale to begin. Really locate that work in your lower abdominals. Reach your hands out, flipping your palms up to the ceiling as if you're doing the offering. Don't raise them above where your sternum and 12th rib meet, so your fingertips are coming right out up under your pectorals. We're going to inhale. Exhale, wrap our ribs as if we're wearing a corset. Tuck just our tail and bring our sacrum to the arc barrel. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to locate that deep abdominal work from hip to hip. Really try to hollow it out, flatten everything. Draw the tips of my ribs to the tops of my hips and articulate back up to sitting tall. And exhale, hollow out, and then release with the tuck and lift. When you hollow out and exhale, feel your abdominals deflate just like you would on the double leg lower lifted mat. And lift. And lift. Think of drawing your belly to your spine. And one more. Now we're going to add on, shake it out, make sure that your hip flexors aren't working too strongly. This can get a little hip flexor heavy on the arc barrel. So we really need to make sure we're putting most of the work in our abdominals. Locate your sacrum. Now, reach back until your back comes to the place where it will be creased up over your sternum. So your abdominals are supporting your head, neck, and shoulders. You're in sort of like a lifted hundreds position. If I were to extend my legs right here, you can see how if this floor were underneath my back, I'd be in a hundreds position. That's where we are right here, reaching up, creasing at the sternum. Begin to articulate up. Lift up till your sternum's still in the arc barrel, and then come up to sitting tall. For every time we're going to come through the flat sternum, and then come back to where or the flat sacrum, and come to where we're creasing over our sternum, and articulate up. The last thing to lift up will be your sacrum. So tuck your tail, and reach back. Wrap your ribs. Don't feel anything in your neck. You should feel anything in your neck. You should really feel it in your abdominals. They're what should be supporting your head, neck, and shoulders. It should be the same in the 100 position on the mat. Begin to articulate up. Lift your sacrum. Tuck. Pull back. Peel your spine off of the barrel. And lift. Let's do 2 more. sacrum hits, and come back. You shouldn't go so far back that your ribs are flaring. We're not articulating over the barrel yet. One more, tuck your tail. So you're in a curl up position. And left. Okay, now we're going to articulate over the barrel. If you have any neck problems, feel free to continue with the exercise that we were just doing, or the first exercise, which is the tuck. We're going to tuck our tail, come back to the curl up position. Articulate back, 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 back. Try not to flare our ribs too drastically. Bring your arms back. Don't let them reach past your ears. Circle your arms around, feeling a nice stretch across your pecs. After your arms come to the tia, begin to draw towards your hips. Begin to wrap your ribs, pulling your head, neck, and shoulders off of the arc barrel as you come back up to sitting. A bit of imagery here. So we're going to tuck our tail, come down to the curl up position, and then imagine that your spine is a strand of pearls. Each vertebra is a separate pearl. Lay all your pearls down individually. And now when you come to the T, begin to pull your strand of pearls up off of the arc barrel, one at a time. I'm in the C-shaped curve. I've come to the sacrum, and then I left. One more in this direction, we're going to reverse. Tuck, come to curl, articulate back, circle your arms, and lift up. And now to reverse, we're going to tuck our tail, come to curl up. As we bring our head, neck, and shoulders down, we're going to circle our arms back to our ears. Bring your hands up, coming up out of your sternum again. And then begin to pull your string of pearls off of the arc barrel up to sitting. And tuck your tail, come through curl up, rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Circle it around, fingertips up to the ceiling or out of your sternum. Peel your spine up and off and lift. Don't forget your sacrum through curl up, head, neck, and shoulders. Circle the arms around and up, head, neck, and shoulders to curl up. Wrap your ribs, draw your ribs towards your hips, come to your sacrum, and then come all the way back up to sitting. Excellent. A little bit of rotational work. We're going to interlace our fingers, bring them behind our head, bring our thumbs long down our neck. Now, pull your fingers apart and pull them down to engage underneath your underarms. We're going to rotate to the left, tuck our tail, and come back to the curl up position again, but in rotation. We're going to come back up through sacrum and come through center and go to the right. Tuck, roll down to curl up, come back to sacrum, and lift up, and then come to center. So the rotation comes first, then the articulation. Hollow out from hip to hip. Articulate back up and unwind. Rotate to the right. Tuck. Articulate back up and through center. Shake out your legs. Make sure your hips aren't doing too much. Squeeze your heels together to engage your inner thighs. And tuck. Now articulate back up and through center. And to the right. Woo, I'm getting a little toe cramp. Tuck. Curl up, come back up, and through center. We're going to add both of these on, including the articulate back all the way to the curl position. We're going to add all three of those together for around the world. So we're sitting up tall. We're going to rotate to the left. We're going to articulate down my left side to the curl position. Without losing my curl or moving my spine position on the arc barrel, I'm going to come through center. I'm going to rotate to the right. I'm going to articulate up and come through center. Then I'm going to rotate to the right, reversing. Tuck my tail. Curl down to the curl up position. Come through center. Rotate to the left. Begin to peel my spine off. Sacrum last. Through center. To the left. Articulate down to curl up. Center. Right. Articulate up. On rotate. To the right. Hollow out from hip to hip. Really draw your hips towards your ribs towards your hips. Imagine in this position that you have little toothpicks that you're holding between the bottom of your ribs and your hips. You don't want to lose that toothpick by releasing out of the curl position. One more to each side. To the left through center, to the right, articulate up, unwind, one more. Make sure that you're not shifting in your sits bones and you're not lifting your back hips off of the arc barrel as you rotate. So the rotation is coming from the belly button above here. And if you are over-rotating and not using more rotational muscles to assist with rotation, you're going to get a shifting in your body. We don't want to see any shifting in the back hips or the sits bones. Okay guys, good job. From there, I'm going to bring my feet, the balls of my feet, onto the foot bar in the Pilates V position. I'm going to squeeze in. I want to maintain an integrity or a contraction in my inner thigh. So I just don't want my legs to flop to the side. I want to make sure that I'm rotating the femur in the hip socket, squeezing my glute. Inhale, tug my tail, roll back to the curl up position. Reach your arms out long. And I'm going to press my feet out and back in. And press. Really squeezing my inner thigh, squeezing my glutes. Dropping my abdominals from hip to hip. Keep it going. Try to really maintain that nice abdominal squeeze that we had in the warm-up exercise. Now zip it up through the center. Good. It's a different position for footwork, but still footwork, guys. Come back in. Great. Bring your heels underneath your sits bones. You can really see it here as opposed to lying down. You're going to be looking at your knees the entire time, so don't let them go out or in at any point during the exercise. You want to maintain alignment with your hips to your knees, from your knees to your big toe. So keep it at a number 11 the whole time, out and in. Readjust that curl up position. Don't forget about your toothpicks from the underside of your rib, the bottom points of your ribs to the top points of your hips. Make the press come from your glutes. Good. Hollow it out. Shake out your neck. Let's do one more because I lost count. Sorry. And 10. From there, we're going to bring our feet into a wide Pilates V. Again, just because we're up here doesn't mean that we want to let our inner thighs go. We want to maintain the nice contraction in the inner thigh, squeezing our glutes. We're going to bring our arms into the hug a tree position in the center. As we extend our legs out, we're going to bring our arms out to a wide hug a tree. And as we come in, we're going to tap our fingers in the center. Don't lose that curl up position as you press out. Now, your fingers should be tapping in front of where your sternum and your 12th rib meet. So right in the center where, let's call them your rib curtains, it's a little gross, but right where your rib curtains are going to intersect with the bottom, with the middle bone, that's where we're going to tap our fingers. Hollow out. Draw your ribs to your hips, you don't lose your toothpick. Good. From there, we're going to come up to the balls of our feet. We're going to bring our arms out to a flipped up. We're going to do hug a moon. So if here's hug a tree, we're going to flip our palms up and we're going to tap our fingers in the center over our head and draw it back down. This is called a hug a moon because you're hugging the moon over your head instead of hug a tree. It's just a flip of the arm position, warming up the arms and the legs. Good. Keep it going. Great, guys. This is our final one here. From there, we're going to slide our feet to the center. We're still in the high heel position. Go ahead and sit up for a second. Butterfly your legs out. Give it nice. Release. We're going to come down, squeeze your legs together, high heel position. Reach your hands forward again. Locate that abdominal connection and that rib to hip connection and press it out and pull it in. Don't allow your knees to separate at any time. Keep them squeezed together the whole time. Good. Try to place equal weight on all 5 toes on each foot across the foot bar. So if you feel your weight on the outside, try to put more weight on the big toe. And if you feel your weight mostly in the big toe, try to even the weight out to your baby toes as well. Good. Okay, guys, on this next one, stay out. Now we're going to drop the left heel under. Feel a nice stretch for a second, and lift it up, and the right heel under. Here's where we're going to start working a lot with the tactile feedback. Make sure that your back hip bones are not shifting off of the arc barrel as you're doing this exercise. So really deepen your connection with your abdominals, and then begin to trot your feet. Make sure that both heels are coming all the way back up. This is not a reciprocal movement where we're moving both feet at the same time. We lower a heel and we lift it. Now lower your other heel. Before you move the left foot, lift your right foot up all the way. Good. Let's do 2 more on each side. One more. Stay up at the top. Now lower both heels under and lift them up. Try not to shift your sits bones or your sacrum on the arc barrel. Good. 7. And inhale and exhale for 8. Inhale and exhale for 9. Inhale and exhale for 10. Drop your heels, bend your knees slightly. Stay there, but begin to sit yourself up, articulate all the way up. Now, bend your knees all the way in. Extend your calves over the foot bar. And go ahead and gently windshield wiper your legs from side to side. You can hold on to the front of the arc barrel. That makes it a little bit more enjoyable. We're going to come down to some sideline leg work. Some sideline work. I'm going to place 1 heavy and 1 medium spring on. That is 1 red and 1 green on my machine. The green is the heavy. Sorry, so 1 green, 1 red. I'm going to come down into a Z sit position. So I'm facing the left side. My left leg is going to be bent in front of the arc barrel, or to the side of the arc barrel, perpendicular with the side of my reformer on the frame. My right leg is going to be bent so that my foot is perpendicular with the foot bar. From there, we're going to be doing some side roll downs. I'm going to place my hand slightly in front of my body. I'm going to rotate it, so I'm pressing in to the pinky blade edge of my hand. I don't have my arms straight, so I'm not popping up into my shoulder. I'm bending my elbows slightly to engage under my arm. I'm going to hollow out from hip to hip. I do not want this shin or knee to float off. I want to keep my hips stacked the whole time. Imagine there's a magnetic strip between your shin and the reformer. So from there, I'm going to begin to articulate down. So the first thing that's going to connect is going to be my hip. And then my mid-body. And then my ribs, head, neck, and shoulder. I'm going to reach it over for a nice side body stretch. I'm going to bring my arm back up to a T, press into my bottom side arm, and then I'm going to peel my head off, pressing in as I pull off, articulating all the way back up. And I'm going to articulate down. Hips going to hit first, bottom ribs, mid ribs, underarm and head, reach over, arm back up to a T. Press in, engage under your arm in the lats. Head comes up first, underarm, mid ribs, low ribs, hip. One more. Articulate down. While we're down here, we're going to be doing some arm circles. So reach your arm up over your head. Again, we're not moving from the belly button down. Your hips should stay stacked the whole time. So if you start to move from the belly button down, your knee's going to tell on you. It's going to start flopping around. Your shin's going to come off. So the first we're going to do is we're going to bring our arm forward. Our shoulder can rotate forward slightly with my arm. I'm going to rotate it to the back, bring it behind my body as long as I don't have any shoulder problems, and back up overhead. Again, if my knee popped off when I went to the back, my hips moved with my shoulder and upper body. Just a slight rotation. Good. Your head will roll slightly on your arm. Draw your abdominals up and in. And bring your arm back up. We're going to reverse. Bring your arm behind you. It's a nice massage on your lats as well while we're down here. Or underneath your arm down your side of your ribs. And circle it around. And one more. Keep that knee down. Good. And come back forward. Now from here, I'm going to place my hand on the apex or the top of my arc barrel. I'm going to place my head in my hands. I'm going to bring my right foot up so my heel is actually at the very front edge of my foot bar. The rest of my foot is not actually on the foot bar for my body personally with my foot bar. Now, I'm going to press it out and bend my knee back in. I'm not lifting my side body off of the arc barrel. My body's staying connected with the arc barrel the whole time. I am pressing strongly in through my heel though, if my whole foot is on, because I want the work to go up the back of my leg. Press it out and resist it back in. You're in charge of the springs. The springs are not in charge of you. Okay, let's do 2 more. Now press it out. Come back in halfway. And now go up an inch and down an inch. Up an inch and down. Up and down. All glute. Little hamstring, right? Shoulders down your back. It's a nice relaxed sideline body position, allowing your glutes to do the work. Now press it all the way out and resist the springs back in. Take your foot, rotate the femur in the hip socket. Squeeze your glutes to press your hip forward so that you're not rocking back into your low back, and press it out and resist it back in. Feel the wrap of the thigh muscle from the inside of the knee all the way to the outside of the hip. Good. Keep the side body on the arc barrel. Keep breathing. Arc barrel is one of my favorite pieces of equipment to use. It's very challenging, but it feels great. When I'm all done, it's the most balanced I feel. Come in halfway. Now up an inch and down an inch, and up an inch and down an inch. The side of your body connected to the arc barrel shouldn't be moving. This should all be the side of the body closest to the ceiling. For me, that's my right side. Good. Press it all the way out. And resist it all the way back in. Now, bring your leg back down. Extend your arm back over the arc barrel. Bring your arm up to a T. For me, that is my right arm. I'm going to begin to articulate up, pressing my pinky blade edge into the arc barrel to come back up to sitting tall. We're going to reverse that to the other side. So, I'm just going to flip my body to the other side. For me, my right leg is going to be in front of the side of the arc, or to the side of the arc barrel, perpendicular with the side of my reformer frame. My left leg is going to be perpendicular with the foot bar. I'm going to stack my hips. I'm going to make sure that I have that magnetic strip running underneath my knee to my ankle on the side of my shin for my left leg, so that it's not flopping off and I'm not getting into my back here. We want to keep this as much oblique work as we can. Obviously, your back will have something to do with it. Let's try to see where we can keep it with the obliques. So bring your hands slightly in front of your body, flip that pinky blade edge, bend your elbows slightly, draw your shoulder down your back, and begin to articulate down. Draw your hip in first, waist, ribs, underarm, head, and reach over for a nice stretch. Try not to draw your shoulder up to your ear. Bring your arm back up to a T. Press in by engaging your lat. Begin to peel your head off. Underarm, ribs, waist, hip, and articulate down. Hip will hit, waist, ribs, underarm, head, arm to a T, head, underarm, ribs, waist, hip. We're going to come back down. We're going to add the arm circles. I'm going to rotate it forward and come to the back. Again, my left knee should not be moving. The rotation is all from the belly button up. Feel a nice massage on my lap. Open it to the back, lifting your shoulders to the ceiling slightly, and kind of back to the center. And now reverse. Open your body up to the ceiling. Open your arm around. Sweep it down in the front. going to place my my left hand on top of the apex of the arc barrel. I'm going to place my head in my hands. I'm going to bring my left leg so that my heel is at the very front corner of the foot bar. I'm going to draw my abdominals up and in, wrap my ribs, pressing in through my heel. I'm going to press it out and resist it back in. Adjust your heel as you need to if it's not in the optimal place. And press and resist. And press. Squeeze the glute at the very top to really lengthen your leg. But don't lift your side body off of the arc barrel. You get as much length as you can. Nice supported side work. Still challenging. We're going to come in halfway and up an inch and down an inch. Up and down. 2, 3, 4. I love sideline work. It's wonderful to see how each side of the body is doing on its own. Press it all the way out without support from the other side. So you can really see where inconsistencies lie and where you can do a lot of nice work or really focus. So now, rotate the femur and the hip socket. Squeeze your glutes to keep your hips stacked. So you're not rocking back into your low back. You really want to stay stacked up there and press it out. Feel that nice wrap of the thigh muscle from the inner knee to the outside hip. Make sure that your knee is tracking over your big toe here. So you want to keep them in line to protect the integrity of your knee. Really use your glutes. Good. Stack your hips. Line your knee up with your big toe. Wrap your ribs. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. I'm not holding on for dear life to the top of my arc barrel. I have my hand resting gently. Now come in halfway and go up an inch and down an inch, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Press it all the way out and resist it back in. Now, remove your left leg from the foot bar, bring it back down to the Z-sit position. Come back down to lying over your arm. Reach your hand up to the T, your top arm. Press in to your right arm on the pinky blade edge. Begin to articulate your spine up, 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 up to sitting tall. We're going to come back through center for one more nice stretching articulation over the arc barrel exercise before we move on. I'm going to bring my feet into the Pilates V position. My arch is closer to my heels or on the arc barrel. I'm going to come to sitting tall. Bring my fingers out of my sternum. I'm going to press my legs as I begin to articulate down. I'm going to bring my arms around to the side, and I'm going to press it up, 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 reaching over in a semi-roll-up position. From there, I'm going to bend my knees and so articulate up to sitting tall. So tuck your tail, locate the curl-up position, press it out as you do that, reaching your arms up over your head in the arm circle position. Circle your arms up and around. Begin to peel your spine off as if it were the pearls, pressing your heels into the foot bar. Reach long over your legs for the foot bar. As you begin to bend your knees in, articulate your spine up. And now press your legs, articulate back. Circle your arms. Peel your head, neck, and shoulders off by creasing at the sternum, coming to the curl-up position. Roll through the sternum position, but keep that C-shaped curve. Roll over your legs. Hold on to the bar if you'd like a nice little stretch. As you begin to bend your knees in, articulate your spine up to sitting tall. Tuck your tail and press. Come through the curl-up position. Reach your arms up and over. Try not to flare your ribs too much here. Now crease at the sternum, drawing your ribs to your hips, coming through the curl-up position, coming through the sacrum, and reach. Bend your knees, and articulate up. Let's do 2 more. Tuck your tail. Curl, reach it over, bend your knees in, articulate up, and tuck. Through the curl up. Reach long. Good, nice back extension. Over your legs. Bend your knees. And articulate up and in. Great job, guys. I'm going to carefully step off to the side of my machine. From there, I'm going to change my springs to my 100 springs. Whichever springs you use for hundreds, I think that's great. Please use those. On my machine, I use one medium, one light. That is one red, one blue in my machine. I'm going to make sure I have my handles on. I'm going to bring my headrest up, if you'd like that. If you do not like your headrest up, please go ahead and lay it down. We're going to come down to lying on our backs. This is going to be the only part of class that we're not using the arc barrel for. Try to maintain that same articulation, that same lower abdominal rib to hip connection that we have on the arc barrel as we do these exercises. I'm going to reach my arms up and put a little tension in my straps. I'm going to extend my legs to the ceiling. Don't bring them up towards your nose. Bring them straight up to the ceiling. And engage under my arms by spiraling out to my pinky blade edge. Putting a little bit more weight in my pinky blade edge. I'm going to lower my arms length for 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and lift. The entire time I'm making sure I keep a flat sacrum, and I'm keeping all my ribs connected to the mat. And I'm going to lift. And I'm going to lower 1, 2, 3, and lift. I'm going to lower 1, 2, 3, and lift. And 1, 2, 3, and lift. I'm going to bring my knees down to tabletop from there. We're going to do some curls. Inhale, exhale. Curl up. Really finding that same curl up position that we had on the arc barrel. Flat sacrum, really supporting our head, neck, and shoulders, and lower. The same support that you felt on the arc barrel, you should be able to find right here. Wrap your ribs, draw your ribs towards your hips, and lower, and exhale to lift. Rather than thinking of articulating from here, think of creasing at the sternum. To do a lift up, you want to make sure that your head's not looking up at the ceiling. You want to be looking more towards your knees and thighs. And 1 more and lift. Now stay in there. Extend your left leg. Pull it back in. Extend your right leg. Don't shift anything in your body while you're doing this. Squeeze under your arms, reaching energy out of your fingers towards the foot bar. Hollow out from hip to hip. Stopping in tabletop every time. 1 more. Now, uncurl back down to the mat. We're going to do another curl up, but we're going to extend our legs long. So inhale, exhale to curl up and extend your legs to working level. Really reach your fingers long, flatten your sacrum, make sure your ribs aren't flaring, and come back down. Inhale, exhale to curl up and extend your legs. And come back down. We're coming out to the hundreds position. Nice wide shoulders, nice wide collarbones. Good. Here's 4. So something that I've noticed for my own body in my hundreds is that I've become lazy on my arm movements in my 100. In the hundreds, it's meant to start the blood flow, really pumping through your body. Your arm movements should be pretty vigorous, not huge and wild, but they should be a little larger. So we're going to inhale, exhale, curl up, and now keep your pumping for hundreds above your hips and really make it vigorous. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your glutes. Imagine that you have an egg under your chin. Don't crush your egg. Don't let your egg roll away. You want to snugly and gently protect your egg under your chin. Don't forget to protect that toothpick between the bottom tips of your ribs and your hips. Draw your shoulder blades nice and wide. Hollow up from hip to hip. Wrap your wrist. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. See, I got lazy with it. One more. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your knees in. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders down. From there, we can go ahead and drop our straps in the well. Release your head rest. Scooch away from the shoulder block slightly. We're going to go ahead and bridge it, but before we do, rest your feet on top of the foot bar. We're just going to windshield wipe our legs from side to side. So, keeping your ribs on, allow your hip to slide off the mat very gently. You shouldn't be doing it too quickly. You shouldn't feel a big jerk in your spine. It should be a gentle lift. A nice release to the hip flexors, the low back. Good. Again, please don't forget to drop your headrest. I'm going to come in to a frog position for bringing my heels together. A very narrow frog. Definitely no wider than my shoulder blades. I'm going to be squeezing my glutes, squeezing my hamstrings. Draw my hamstrings in to hamstring curl to keep the foot bar, to keep the bumper in. Oh my gosh. To keep the carriage in and the bumper near the foot bar. That's what I'm saying for. We're going to platform our arms by our sides. When you do that, don't flare your ribs. And now, exhale. Begin to lift your sacrum. Begin to lift your mid-back. Squeeze your glutes to lift up high. And articulate back down. Oh my gosh, I just got a cramp on my hamstring. I'm going to lift my leg up. I'm going to lift my other leg up. All right, guys. Inhale, exhale. Tuck your tail. Articulate up. True articulation here, guys. Just reverse of what we were doing on the arc barrel. Release back down to neutral. One more. Tuck my tail. Come through the curla. Nice soft sternum. And now glute pulses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just right for 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just left for 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Articulate down, 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 down. Lift your legs up to the ceiling real fast. Pull back, 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 back. Nice little hamstring release. Try to anchor your tailbone down. All right. We're going to come to the same foot position. Widen our frog to the outside edges of the carriage. Hamstring curl to keep the carriage in at the bumper. Inhale, exhale. Lift our sacrum. Lift through the curl up. Lift the shoulder blades. Squeezing our glute. I can lift my head here, so I'm not in my neck. If you can't lift your head in bridge, you're into your neck too much. Try to soften through the sternum and platform onto your shoulder blades. Articulate up. Squeezing our glutes. We want a straight line from the knees to the hips to the underarms. Articulate down. You'll lift your bridge higher, not by coming up on your neck, but by squeezing your glutes. It's a glute strength. Inhale, exhale, articulate up, and now press it out. Your hips will drop slightly as you straighten your legs. Now as you bring it in, lift your hips higher. But not coming up any further up onto your neck. Not coming up on your neck at all, right? Here's 4. Final one, lift your arms up if you would like a challenge. Replace your arms, articulate down. Again, lift your legs up to the ceiling. Give them a nice little release. We're going to come onto our side. Come up to sitting. I'm going to place one sticky mat underneath where I want to place my barrel. I'm going to place my other sticky mat. I'm going to find a hand's width away from the edge of the carriage. I'm going to place it there. They may overlap, they may not. From there, I'm going to take off my step. On my barrel, it fits like a puzzle, and I can remove a step. From there, I'm going to place it back where it was before, right in the middle. So the shoulder block's right in the middle. My peg is right in the very last spot. This is further away from the edge than I would normally do stomach massage. but I'm not going to move my foot arm. I'm going to come down to sitting, place my feet on the platform first to adjust, and change my springs. From there, I'm going to put 4 springs on. I have 2 heavies, 1 medium, 1 light. On my machine, that's 2 greens, 1 red, 1 blue. Please use whichever stomach massage springs you prefer. From there, I'm going to bring both feet up to a frog position. Try to come up to sitting up tall on my sits bones. This may be where you leave your foot bar for stomach massage. Maybe you lower it. I do. But it is easier to find the tips of your sits bones when you're further away from the foot bar, right? I'm going to take my arms, bring them around at my sides. Try to locate the front corners of my carriage with my fingertips. It's a little harder further away from the end of the machine. So I might have to narrow my frog slightly. I'm going to hollow up from hip to hip. Look down between my legs. I'm going to press out on 1. Finding a high heel frog position. Lower my heels on 2. Lift up on 3. Bend my knees in on 4. And so I'm going to press out. Really drawing my belly button back towards my spine the whole time. Really drawing my ribs towards my hips. Feeling the same sensation I felt in the warm-up when I was articulating back. My shoulders are drawn down my back. I'm not crunching them up towards my ears. Your shoulders are not earrings. I've heard it said before. I always think it's kind of funny. Keep breathing the whole time. One more. From there, I'm going to sit up tall, bring my hands in front of me, circling them to a T. I'm going to bring my hands down so that my palms are flat. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades in. I'm going to do a back extension without flaring my ribs. Think of it more as a chest lift. I'm going to use the same counts, press out on 1, lower on 2, lift on 3, and on 4. Let's talk about the tactile feedback here. The entire time my sits bones are connected to the carriage, but more importantly, my sacrum or the back of my hip bones are in contact equally with the arc barrel. I don't feel any shifting. I'm working equally in my sides. And if I feel a shifting, then I'm able to make an adjustment in my own body. These are adjustments that you wouldn't normally be able to find without this sort of equipment. Let's do one more. I went way over. Sorry about that, guys. Now, from there, I'm going to press myself back up to sitting. Hold on to the foot bar with one hand. Reach down. Remove 1 heavy spring. So now I have 3 springs done, guys. 1 heavy, 1 medium, 1 light on my machine. From there, I'm going to bring my arms up, biceps behind my ears. I'm going to hinge forward slightly. I'm going to press out and pull back in. I'm no longer lowering and lifting my heels. The more that you are, adjustment, the more that you're able to hinge forward from your hips, wrap your wrists, the less your hip flexors will be involved in this movement. One more. From there, I'm going to bring my arms in front of me, coming straight out of my sternum. Keep a close eye and keeping equal weight on the back of both of your hip bones. We're going to press out, and I'm going to bring my left arm back, rotating from the belly button up, feeling myself grow taller as I open to the left side and come back into the center. Bring my right arm out, feeling myself grow taller as I rotate to the right side and through center and to the left. Through center. Squeeze your legs long. Don't lose connection with your hip bones on the back. Stay up on top of your sits bones so that you're not sinking in your low back. Good. From there, I'm going to hold on in between my feet. Come on to the arches of my feet. Wide Pilates feet frog, second position. I'm going to hold on to the center. I'm going to press out. Drop my ears between my biceps. Get a nice stretch in here. Just relax. Feel a nice stretch under my arms, through my legs, through my back. I'm going to resist the springs as I come in slowly and articulate back up to sitting. From there, I'm going to come off to the side of the machine. We're going to be doing some Swan style back extension work. I'm going to have one red and one blue spring on. So from there, I'm going to come onto my stomach, or actually I'm going to come onto my knees with my hands on top of the apex. My belly button, oh sorry, don't press out so that you jump off. I didn't mean to. My belly button is going to be closer to the top of the apex than not. I'm going to find the top of my machine with my feet though. I'm pressed into my machine. I'm in a high heel position in a Pilates V foot. So I'm in a demi-point position, pressing into the machine, and now I'm going to bend my legs in. From there, I'm going to feel my body relax over. And I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong cue. Your sternum is actually going to be where your sternum and 12th ravine is actually going to be on top of the box. I'm going to have my head and my hands again. My thumbs rolling down my neck. I'm going to pull my fingers apart. I'm going to press out, squeezing my glutes, press my legs straight and coming back in. I'm still extended prone over that arc barrel. I'm drawing my belly button up and in, wrapping my ribs. If this is uncomfortable on your pelvis, take your second sticky mat and place it under. Let's do one more. Now, as we press out this time, it's just a small press. We're going to articulate out to a swan position. We're going to come back down as we bend our knees to come back in. Now, this is an extended swan. We're going to be drawing our belly button up towards our spine, wrapping our ribs, just like we would be for swan on the mat. Press it out, and lift, and lower, and come in. One more. Now we're going to be doing a couple swans with rotation. Bend your knees to come back in. Press it out, rotate to the right. We're not moving our hips. Rotate to the left, just like we talked about on all of our other rotations so far. It's coming from the belly button up. Press it out, press out into swan. Rotate to the left. If at any time you find that this is too much back extension for you, please feel free to hit the child's pose. Press it out and lift, belly to spine. Rotate to the left, center, right, center, and articulate down. Press it out. Final one. We should have an equal amount of curvature. It should be an even curve from the tip top of our head all the way up through our legs. Nice swan. Articulate down and come back. Good. From there, I'm going to use my hands on my frame. Press up, bring my knees further up on to the carriage and find a child's pose. Okay, so if this is better for you on the floor, please hit that position there. Take 2 more deep breaths. One more deep breath. Articulate up. Don't fall back into the springs. Come off to the side. I'm going to place my step back on. I'm going to remove the one sticky mat but not the other one. On my machine, you'll lift up, flip around. There we go. Sometimes it takes a minute, right? So from here, we're going to be doing some arm work facing the back. I have one leg spring on, that's one blue. If you only have reds and you find that you have a double loop, so go ahead and use the longer loop for this work to lighten up that red spring. I'm going to come to sitting carefully with my booty and the step, my legs extended over the arc barrel. I'm going to bring my arms straight out in front of me, palms facing down, tuck my tail, come back just a little bit. Imagine I'm going to feel the same sensation that I did in the warm-up when I rolled back to my sacrum, and my sacrum was flat against this part of the arc barrel. From there, I'm going to lift my arms up, biceps by my ears, and bring it back down. The spring is light. The most important part of this is control. Make sure that you are controlling the springs. The springs are not controlling you. Shake out your hips a little bit. They should not be doing the majority of keeping your body in this position. Your abdominal should be. And here's 8. From there, bring your arms straight forward. And now press it back. And back. If you feel your legs start to lift up, it's because your hip flexors are taking over. Try to put more in your abs. 5, try not to break at the wrist like I was doing. Wide shoulders, don't allow them to roll in. Drop your belly button to your spine. Bring your hands in front of you. Drop your straps down in front of your sternum. Palms facing each other, open to a T. And release back. And open to a T. And open. If you can get your arms behind your body here, that's fine. The weight is light enough to where you might be able to do that. Through 7. And one more. And here is 8. From there, we're going to flip our palms, leaving our biceps where they are. We're not going to drop our elbows towards our hips. We're just going to bring our hands towards our shoulders and release out and bend. 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing. Good. Nice wide open shoulders. One more. Now, articulate up. Diamond your legs. Fold over your legs for a moment. Like we discussed at the beginning of class, for me personally, the hardest part of arc barrel is staying out of my hip flexors. I find it to be very hip flexor heavy on my body. That's why we're taking quite a few stretch breaks. Come back up to sitting tall. I'm going to hold on to the black plastic. I'm going to tap back. I'm going to roll back. So for me, my sacrum's actually flat against the small part of the step. It's as if I'm in the curl up position on the large part of the barrel. I'm going to bring my knees up to tabletop and extend them away from me slightly. I'm going to do small scissors coming from my lower abdominals. Very slow, very small. Nice wide shoulders. The straps are just there for support. Don't grip onto them for dear life. I am holding them between my thumb and my forefinger. 2 more. Good. Bend your knees in. Rest it on the arc barrel fast. Articulate up to sitting. We have 2 more exercises in this position. We will rest our hip flexors between each one. Come back down. Bring your legs to tabletop. Extend your right leg. Draw your left knee in towards your nose as you extend your right leg away straight. Now as you begin to bend your right knee, extend your left leg. We're bicycling, but get as much extension as you can. Draw your ribs towards your hips. Now extend it out, and now we're going to reverse. Extend your left leg long and then bend, and extend your right leg. As one leg straight, one leg's bent. Feel this strongly in my abdominals now, guys. I don't know about you. And now bring it back up. Bring your feet to the arc barrel. Come back up to sitting. Let's go ahead and roll over our legs again. And for a nice diamond, sort of relaxation, back stretch. Articulate back up to sitting. Tuck your tail, roll back. We're going to bring our legs back up. We're going to do double leg circles, 3 or 4 in each direction. So we're going to open, make them small. You don't want your sacrum to come off of this step. You are able to do this on the floor with hand weights if you're more comfortable. We're going to reverse. 2, 3, and 4. Bend your knees in, rest it on the arc barrel. Articulate. back up to sitting. Now, bring the carriage into the bumper. Hold on to your straps. Bring your body up and off. Now, we're gonna go ahead and come down to sit down. This is something a little different, but we're gonna wait. So, I'm going to bring my straps into either hand. Make sure they're not crossed in the back, guys. I'm going to bring one leg up to the tabletop, bring the other leg up to the tabletop. They're a diamond. I'm going to rock back so my sacrum's on. Or I'm sorry. Let's come up with our feet on the foot bar. This will be best. Tuck your tail, bring your sacrum on. Bring one foot up, bring the other foot up. Squeeze your heels, bring your arms forward and back. And forward and back. Make sure your legs are tabletop. Hollow out from hip to hip. Ooh, I was just puffing out a little bit. Here's 7 and 8. Now, one more exercise before we rest our hip flexors. Bring your arms to hug a tree. Tap your fingers under your knees and bring it back. So you might need to bring your knees a little bit more narrow to tap your fingers. Draw your ribs towards your hips. Here's 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rest your feet down over the foot bar. Ooh, rest your heels on. Allow yourself to rock back over for a nice back extension. Extend your legs over and massage your calves. You're not necessarily doing the windshield wiper. You're just releasing out long. Stretch your legs and bend them if you like. Begin to articulate back up. Draw your feet back up into the tabletop frog. We're going to do salute. So, bringing your fingers into the diamond shape in the middle of your forehead. Extend your arms and bend them back. And extend and bend. Or if you prefer, bring your hands together so your fingertips are touching. And extend your arms away and back. Good. Here's 7. I'm feeling the shape now, guys. I don't know about you. 8. Drop your hands down to your hips. We have 4 circles in each direction. Up to the shoulders. Open to a T and lower. Don't allow your ropes to have slack at any time. And lift and squeeze in. We've reversed. 2. 2 more, and then we're going to take a break. Now come all the way in. Rest your feet over. But we're still maintaining that long diamond shape with our heels squeezed. We are going to do teaser in diamond. Extend your arms down by your side. Don't allow any slack in your rep. Leave a little bit of tension. While we're doing this, make sure that you're articulating up, 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 equally on both sides, and you're not rocking to either side when you're lifting. And increase at your sternum, reaching forward, lifting your legs, coming up into teaser with your sacrum on the box. Reach your arms down by your sides as you lower everything back down. Your head and your feet should hit at the same time. Leaving tension in your straps. Crease at your sternum. Come through curl up. Come to your sacrum as you lift your legs. These are all parts of the exercise we've been working on the whole time. We've actually been working on this exercise as well, but not with lifting our feet as of yet. Come through curl up. Lower your head, neck, and shoulders, feet hit at the same time. Make sure that you're in at the bumper, guys. We shouldn't be pressed out already. Final one. Creasing at the sternum, reaching long. Coming through curl up, finding the sacrum on the arc barrel. Can you extend your legs? Beautiful. Bring your legs back into the diamond. Tuck your tail, come through curl up, and all the way back down. Now, drop your straps in the well. Bring your shins over. Rotate on the nice calf massage. Arms up to the ceiling. Curl it up. Try not to press the carriage away from the bumper while you do so. Final exercises, guys. We have just a few with one medium spring on. That's one right over here. I'm going to take my foot. I'm going to come, first of all, we're going to come back into the Z-sit position facing the left side. From there, I'm going to take my right foot, which is the foot for me that is perpendicular with my foot bar. I'm going to press the side of my foot into the corner edge of the standing platform like I did for the Swan back extensions, and I'm going to press my leg out long. I'm not lifting my hip to do this. I'm staying connected in the same position with the arc barrel. From there, I'm going to place my hand on my pinky blade edge, just like we did for the roll down, roll up. We're going to add on to it though, adding a little bit of a mermaid counter stretch. I'm going to reach it over, bring my arm back up to a T, pressing in, articulating up, 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 up. Might feel a little nicer with this leg position. Take my right hand, bring it across my left knee with my palm facing up, and reach to the foot bar. I'm going to open back up to a T, place my pinky blade edge on, bring my hip, waist, ribs. I find that when I'm not using the arc barrel, I can get kind of lazy and do more of a flat bend, side bend on my side bend. So I really want to make sure that I'm articulating up, using my obliques strongly. Place my right hand across my left knee and reach to the side, pressing into my knee to lift up. I don't want to crunch. I want to lift up, 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 as if I'm between two panes of glass. I'm not rotating forward or backwards. Blade edge down. Final one. Hip, waist, ribs, underarm and head. Lift it up. Head, underarm, ribs, waist, hip. Bring my arm, my hand towards my foot bar and back up through center. Bend my knee to come back in gently with control, right? I'm going to go to the other side for this modified side oblique roll down mermaid movement. So my right knee is perpendicular with the side of the right side of my machine. I'm going to take my left leg, press it in to the corner of my standing platform, press my leg straight. I don't want my leg pressed behind me. It can be in line with my hip. I like mine a little bit closer to the front so I can really make sure I'm not rocking back onto my hips. I'm going to place my pinky blade edge, my hand down. I'm going to bring my hip, waist, ribs, underarm, head down, reach over my head, arm back up to a T, lift my head, lift my underarm, ribs, waist, hip. I'm going to bring my left arm across my right knee, press into my knee and reach. You might find that it's easier to locate your obliques at this point. You don't need as much support from pressing in to the pinky blade edge of your hand as you did at the beginning of the class. And that's great. That means that you've gotten a great warm up on your obliques. And reach down. Make sure that you're hitting all the parts of the articulation as you go though. Arms back out to a T. One more. Hip, waist, ribs, underarm, head, and lift it back up. Head, underarm, ribs, waist, hip, and rotate across. Or I bend, side bend towards the foot bar. Nice counter stretch. Come back to a T. Bend your knee to resist it back in. Final one, coming through center. Without moving the platform, we're just going to tuck our tail, find our sacrum, find the curl position, reach back, circle arms around when they get to the T, crease at the sternum, finding the curl position, finding the sacrum, rocking up. We're going to do 3 more like this. See if it's easier for you to find an equal roll down on both sides of your body, up and down. Good. When we come back up this last time, we're going to reverse. So sacrum, curl up, bring your arms down by your side, then over your head, up towards the ceiling. Crease over the sternum to lift, finding the curl up, finding the sacrum, and lift. Then find your sacrum, find your curl up, rotate down, reach your arms up, reach your arms up to the ceiling, crease at the sternum, lift your head against shoulders with your abs, wrap your wrists, ribs to hip. Sacrum. Final one, guys. Sacrum. Curl up. From there, we're going to bring our hands up, come up to curl up, come up to sacrum, and lift it up. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for class today. I hope that you find that you're feeling a little bit more balanced. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.